Welcome to Business Life. So today morning, we are watching these Asian markets, and currently the markets are trading in a negative territory as the Dow Jones has closed about 202 points in losses yesterday, along with the Nasdaq also closed in the minus about 17 points. So the kind of negativity is continuing in the Asian markets, and right now the SGX Nifty is trading at about minus 10 points. Along with that, the Shanghai, the Nikkei markets and the other Asian markets are also very completely trading into the negative territory. So let's know about the exact market trends as on today, how we are going to expect the markets to open and how are they going to really close today. So I have my guest today, Mr. Viplav from Karvi Stock Broking. Mr. Viplav, I welcome to our show.
Thank you so much.
So what do you expect in the March series, which has started with a positivity on the 1st of March,
Right.
but what to expect after after coming with a long weekend?
Certainly. See, I'll tell you very briefly. What happens is, global markets were earlier outperforming our Indian markets. Going forward, I think they may witness some kind of a profit booking, but it is a very gradual one. At the same time, if we observe very keenly on the Indian market, what happens is the major index which is contributing more to the Nifty, that is a bank Nifty and BFSI and financial services, which is a 37% of weight. So that is already outperforming the Nifty, the underlying. So I believe that going forward, overall trend will remain sideways to positive only. As of now, what we are expecting market to start climbing above 11,000 mark. Unless and until we are staying below 11,000 mark, the broader consolidation will continue for a while, which we are observing from from mid of November, and which is continuing till now. So on the Nifty front, I expect Nifty to move above 11,000, but for now, for a shorter time frame, I think it is likely to remain consolidation in the range of around 10,600 to 11,000 for a while.
So which are the stocks, or even if we look into these sectors, which are the ones which are going to dominate this month or outperform?
Interestingly, I was observing the the overall breadth of the market. In the recent past, what we have observed as PSU, the old school boys were showing a little bit of strength as of now, and I expect that if this PSU banks will start performing, then I think it has a potential to rise, take markets higher. At the same time, as I mentioned earlier, also that BFSI is likely to outperform the broader market. So I expect that for now, PSU bank will be the flavor of the coming week.
All right. So that means which are the stocks here? Can you name a few? Like State Bank would be the one which is as a leader in the PSU sector, and among the other PSU companies, which are the ones like may outperform? Because what we have seen is, as on yesterday, there were 3 oil marketing companies which remained the top gainers in the index. I mean, the last week on Friday. So are these the ones, or PSUs can also have a run up in this month?
See, basically, as of now, it is very early to comment that PSU will be the superstar. But as of now, what I have observed is on the stock specific front, I like Canara Bank, which was showing a formation kind of a pattern as of now. So Canara Bank could be the one of the pick which we can take from the PSU sector. At the same time, what I have observed is RBL Bank and DCB. These are the stocks which is looking good. Now, if we talk about the SBI, I think SBI is one of the leader which is likely to remain stagnant. But what I would be looking from the SBI is it should not fall as compared to the other, the leaders in the market. Even if it stays sideways to, positive, that's enough for me. Other banks will take a leadership going forward.
All right, great. So looking into this, the markets are kindly likely to remain between 10,600 and 11,500 are the broader view if we look into.
Yes.
Okay, so which are the stocks if you feel that that may bring in some good change as on today, because the automobile numbers were also declared, and will that have a continuation effect, either a bearish effect or a bullish effect in the automobile sector as on today?
See, automobile for now, which I would say from last couple of months, it is not a flavor of the season. So for some or other reason, the stocks are falling. And if we see in the recent past, the leadership of HDFC Twins which is also showing a laggard sign, or maybe they are not performing at all. What we have seen is the leadership coming from the Reliance Industries, Infosys, TCS, and there are few stocks which has taken markets on the higher side. I think that this particular stocks may continue to rise and put markets on a positive territory, especially if we see the structure of the Infosys and TCS. They are showing a great amount of strength. At the same time, Reliance, the market leader, is also showing a great amount of strength. So I think these are the stocks which would remain in the focus, and at the same time some forces will be added by the PSU banks.
Okay, so viewers, let's look into the index advances and declines as on Friday. The advances were about in Nifty 50, 40 stocks were advancing and the declining were 10 stocks. And whereas in BSE 200, the advances were about 158 and the declines were 41, and the stocks which were unchanged was 2 companies. And if we look into the top Nifty 50 gainers, Zee Telefilms, Hindustan Petroleum, IndusInd Bank, Bharat Petroleum and Indian Oil Corporation remained positive between 2.6% to 4.5%. And what we can see in the top 5 losers, that's Bharti Airtel, Bajaj Auto, Axis Bank, UPL and Asian Paints, which lost ground about 1% to 3.5% as on Friday. So looking at this, especially the stocks which were in focus, especially the Bajaj Auto also declared numbers. So what kind of cues can we expect specifically in regard to Bajaj Auto?
As far as Bajaj Auto is concerned, I think it has already moved past, and I think it was to an extent it was outperforming the auto stocks. For now, what we have observed a profit booking taking in last 3 or 4 sessions, but overall I expect that after a minor pullback in Bajaj Auto, I expect some recovery to come. For me, as of now, what I am looking is support is placed somewhere near 2800, so that could be an opportunity to accumulate a stock. At the same time, keeping a financial stop loss of around 2750, one may look for a target of around 2900, 2950 going forward.
Okay, so let's look into the FIIs and DIIs kind of funds reaction what they had in the past couple of days. As on the according to the provisional figures what we have on the 26th of February, the FIIs were net buyers till the 28th of February. Starting from 1674 crores they bought on the 26th, and on the 27th they were net buyers again by about 423 crores, and on the 28th of Feb they again bought to the worth of 3210 crores, whereas in regard to DIIs, they were net sellers on the 26th of Feb to the tune of about 720 crores, and on the 27th of February they were they were buyers for about 66 crores only. Yes, it's only 2-digit kind of figure, that's 66 crores, and on the 28th of Feb the DIIs again turned out to be the net sellers, that's about 5240 crores. So what do we understand with this kind of reactions by the DIIs, because it seems that the Indian DIIs are having any kind of redemption pressure, or is there any reason for specific reason for withdrawal of funds?
I don't find any specific reason for withdrawal funds, because if we see the past data of the mutual fund industry, they are on leaps and bounds, they are increasing, and I think this particular fashion will continue for a while, since now the retail participant has become so matured enough. They are participating through the mutual funds, through the SIPs, and I think that is the best way to participate. As of now, what I see is that maybe could be the NAV management which could take place in this month, and that's the reason we may see some pressure here and there. But overall, I think DIIs would continue to remain on the buy side. I don't know what about the FIIs, because the global pressure and the global jitter is so in a way it is reacting. I think DIIs will continue to remain on the buy side only for the market.
What do you expect after the GST Council coming out with a reduction of taxes in the real estate sector? Will that be really going to add a strong boost rally for the entire year, or is it just going to be a blip of that kind of a news?
I personally think that the way in which the GST is coming, they are certainly pushing the overall the retail buyers to come into the market and take some action. But the ground reality we need to check as of now, because how this is going to affect how the retail participants or the home buyers will going to react on this particular news. But overall, I expect this is a very positive news, and we may see an impact going forward on a longer term that would be a much positive.
All right. So viewers, today there are some stocks which are in news. That's Jet Airways, Reliance Industries, Indian Hume Pipe, IRB Infra, Hero Motocorp, Aurobindo Pharma, and Tata Motors, which are going to be in news. And let's wait and watch these kind of outcomes of this news, because the stock may react either positive or negative depending upon the news reaction. Now, coming back to the important updates about the stock specific, if we look into, there were 52-week highs and 52-week lows as on Friday. That's of course once again that's UPL, which clocked a 52-week high of 881 rupees, and ICICI General Insurance made a 52-week high of 940. Aditya Birla Fashion made a 52-week high of 229, and last but not the least, of course, Tech Mahindra also went up to a 52-week high of 840. So, which are the preferred stocks among these four companies according to you?
See, structurally, I think that UPL is looking very strong as of now on the charts. Maybe I think this particular uptrend will continue for a while. If anybody is looking to accumulate for a short term, then I think it is wait and watch. But if somebody is looking to accumulate for a longer term, then he should go for a buying in a staggered manner, which is an ideal way. The overall structure of TechM is also looking very strong, since the IT counters are doing extremely well. So I think UPL and TechM could be the two preferred bets to accumulate for a medium to long term perspective. Even for a shorter term perspective, one may take a bet here, but the financial stop loss should be somewhere around 1 or 1.5% on both the stocks. That should be taken to protect your capital from erosion.
All right. So, do you have any intraday or any short-term buy calls according to the technicals?
Sure. See, basically, as of now, I think one may look at few stocks like Chola Finance, which is looking strong on a chart. So, one may, for a week perspective, one may go long here with a stop loss of around 1190. One may expect a target of around 1340. At the same time, Dabur is looking very strong on the chart. So, one may accumulate Dabur somewhere near 440 levels. Put a stop loss of around 420, look for a higher target of around 470, 475 for a week perspective. L&T among the large cap is again very looking strong. So one may look accumulate L&T somewhere near 1295, put a stop loss of around 1215, look for a target of around 1400.
Okay. So before the market starts, let me give you viewers an update about a couple of stocks. According to the research, technical research pattern, these are the stocks which are looking stronger in the monthly charts accordingly. But it's not a recommendation; it's an information for you to go ahead and do your own homework. So that's Ruchi Soya, which has given a monthly closure of around 9 rupees, and it has got an entry of around 8 rupees 90 paisa. And Adani Power, which has a bull entry price for a long-term investment for up to 1 year, but definitely we recommend the viewers to do their homework. We don't recommend the stocks from news channel, but yes, our analyst would be the right person, our guest would be the right person to do the justification onto these stock names. Like Adani Power is looking bull above the 39 rupees price. Titan is looking stronger above 955. And Hindustan Unilever is giving a bull indicator above the 1374 price. And last but not the least, that's Alok Textiles, that's 3 rupees 20 paisa is what the stock looking kind of bullish above these prices. So in case if our guest finds them strong and really worth buying, they would definitely recommend. What do you say, Viplav, about this?
Specifically, if we see the charts of Adani Power, I think Adani Power one may certainly accumulate here. Ruchi Soya and Alok Textile, I don't recommend to my viewers, because it is a little penny stocks and there are risk of uncertainties over this particular counters. But certainly, if somebody is putting a stop loss and accumulating, one may certainly accumulate for a longer term perspective. But as of now, Adani Power, as you recommended, it is looking very strong. One may go long here. If somebody is looking to accumulate for a medium term perspective, 30 could be the stop, 30 to 32 could be the stop loss, and go long in the counters. Targets could be around 65 to 70 odd levels for the medium to long term perspective.
Okay, there are also a couple of stocks which are giving kind of bearish indications in the monthly chart. Okay, like Reliance Infra, Centex are the ones almost like a front runners like McLeod Russell. So these are the stocks which are giving real kind of bear trend. So how does they look according to you, Mr. Viplav?
Specifically, if we see the ADAC pack, there is now, it is likely to go further lower only. That even the charts are suggesting the same thing. And if we go by the news flow, both are suggesting the same thing. It is likely to go down only. So as such, if anybody is holding this particular stock, then my recommendation is to exit and look for some other quality stocks in the similar price level. Now coming on to a Syntax, after the demerger, I think stock has not recovered at all. And as of now also, the stock is looking weak on the charts only. Coming on to a McLeod Russell, I think the chart structurally turned very bearish, and I think if stock is going to fall below 80, 82 levels, it is going to go further lower towards 75 odd levels.
Okay. Viewers, the markets have opened, that's Nifty 50 is trading at about 10,839 minus 24 points. Sensex is trading at 36,010 minus 53 points. And if we look into the market stats, right now the index giving negative indications, so the stocks are trading in the negative territory. The names are, the top one would be, the losers would be Eicher Motors, trading at about 2% minus, lost ground by about 400 rupees, trading at 19,550. Larsen and Toubro has lost about 1.5%, trading at 1,289. Wipro is losing about 1.3%, trading at 371. Tech Mahindra, the one which was clocking the 52-week high, that stock is trading about 1.2% lower, that's about 822. Dr. Reddy's is again trading at about 1.3% minus 2,610. And the top gainers, if we look into, yes, these are the companies which were again the gainers on the Friday, the oil marketing companies, that's BPCL, Hindustan Petroleum are trading at about 1 to 1.5% stronger at about, if you look into the Tata Motors, that's trading at 182, stronger by 1%. JSW Steel gaining ground by 1.1%, that's 285. Coal India, after a big correction, now the stock is slightly trying to move upwards by about 1%, 235. So do you have any take on these stocks as on today, which are the losers and gainers?
Specifically, if we see now the market breadth has turned little weak. What we recommend is, try to stay with the winners as of now, and the Petronet is among the chart is looking strong to me. So one may go long for now Petronet with a financial stop loss of around 221 levels. Look for a target of around 226, 227 levels on the Petronet. TechM as of now witness kind of a profit booking, I would say. For a now, you may ignore for a while. UPL, as we discussed, UPL is a one stock which can be accumulated with a stop loss of around 856 odd levels for the higher target of around 880, 885 levels.
Among the mid cap and small cap tech IT stocks, there are, to name a few, one company specifically that's, looking kind of bullish. Can you give the confirmation that's NIIT Technologies is what, slightly looking towards the bull zone? Is it, kind of convincing to buy or recommend to any of the viewers?
Sir, you have still my words. I was going to recommend only NIIT Tech. And it seems, stock is looking extremely positive on the charts. And if we see the last recent run up in the stock, I think overall stock is likely to go up only. If anybody wants to accumulate for today, then I think that today is a wait and watch. But for medium to long term perspective, stock can be certainly accumulated with a stop loss of around 1280 on the chart. maybe you can look for a target of around 1380 to 1400 over the medium term perspective on the NIIT Tech.
Okay, recently MCI has made an announcement that they would be increasing the weightage to China. So what does it mean? Like, is that going to truly affect in long term, or would this be a short term blip?
See, if we see as of now the current global tensions between US and China, overall, I think it is, I would say it's a blip of, positivity to the China, but overall there is a good amount of a negative news flow which is floating around China, and US President Mr. Donald Trump is not going to leave away China for a while. So I think we have to take this with a pinch of salt, and the positive for the China would be little less as of now as compared to the India.
Okay, so that means can we expect any rally before the election month? Like example, if we are going to going for elections in the month of May, so we have about say March, April, and 2 months to go. So in these 2 months, can we expect any kind of long build-up happening in general in the index stocks, or maybe which of the sectors going to outperform before the elections month, and are there any large caps or mid caps to take a look at?
See, you put it very rightly. As of now, all investors would be thinking that whether before elections market are going to rise or not. So the charts and the data as of now is suggesting as such there is not going to be a big rally which is going to take place for a now. But if we see the overall structure, if we see the long-term picture of the market, then it is poised with a bullish bias. Unless and until market breaches below 10,600, I think we are going to go rise only. We are going to go up only. For the higher target of around, let's say, 11,400 and eventually 11,700 on the Nifty front. But for now, ahead of election, markets, according to my expectation, is likely to remain choppy as in the consolidation mode between 11,000 to 10,600. Okay,
great. Now, looking into the other stocks news, NCC received 5 new orders worth about 40.88 billion rupees. And Shriram Transport Finance panel meet in March on fundraising aspect. So will there be any kind of reaction in the markets looking into the Shriram Transport Finance going for some fundraising? Will that really give some boost up or re-rating of the stock?
See, as far as the re-rating of the stocks is little difficult for markets to digest, since the BFSI and specifically this type of counters are little under pressure as of now because of the liquidity crunch. But if we see that on a chart perspective, then I think one may certainly go long in Shriram Transport Finance with a stop loss placed below somewhere around 1165 for a while. Look for a target of around 1220, 1225 on the higher side. Coming on to the NCC has already reacted positive onto the news flows. So one may go long in this counter with a stop loss of around 88 rupees. Look for a target of around 93, 94.
Okay. So if we come and if we talk about this topic, because this is being very frequently taken up in our program, because this is really plays a vital role in every investor's life. What happens is when it comes to the discipline part, whether you're a long-term investor or as a short-term investor, what are those important points one has to focus on to, because many investors are losing. If we look into stocks wise, stock specific wise, there are many companies which are just index based companies are falling by about 30 to 40%, which is not kind of a routine which used to happen earlier. But this year in 2019, the month of January and February, the trend so started and the stocks have been falling very highly. The kind of losses one is accumulating, leading to a lot of disappointment among the small investors. So what can one recommend, especially to take care as a discipline when it comes to short or long term investment?
You put it very rightly, sir. If somebody is looking for a long-term investing, so what happens is, based on my past experience, I have observed that if somebody wants to, let's say, put a 10 lakh rupees into the market, then what they do is they simply go and put 10 lakh rupees at a one go. But at Karvi, what we recommend is to buy in a staggered manner. Let's say you have identified 10-15 stocks for your portfolio. Try to buy in a staggered manner rather than buying in a one go. Let's say you have a 10 lakh rupees of a capital. Try to buy in a 3 or 2 tranches and buy the same stock. As far as the discipline is concerned, this is how the discipline will take care to build your wealth. But at the same time, what I have observed, as you rightly mentioned, that in the recent past, even we have seen a very dramatic fall and even into the large caps. So here what we have to do is we have to take care whether the company is doing good or not. At least if you are an investor, give a quarter or two to identify the trend and see whether the company is doing bad. If you find your decision is wrong, try to exit of that particular decision or particular stock and look for something else. Yes, certain like a DHFL or some other stocks, you cannot identify whether you went wrong or not, because the decision or the pace of the fall was so dramatic and so drastic, so it is very difficult. But yes, in certain stocks you can certainly cap your losses and look for some other opportunities.
Okay. So viewers, before we close this show today, I would like to give you the update of the markets currently. That's Nifty trading at 10,845 minus 18 points. Sensex trading at 36,008 points. That's minus 55 points. They are slightly trading in the red side. So I think the trend give some kind of a different scenario, maybe post lunch after the 1:30 2 o'clock markets, in case if the markets going to go on the higher side. So let's wait and watch. So trade with caution and trade with stop loss. So either the short term or the long term investments. So do trade with confidence. Thank you very much, viewers, for watching our show today. So see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. same time. Thank you.